This is the video tutorial for the Happy Days PAIGE book wallet with built-in pencil case. It holds an A5 notebook or diary, as in our case, and then this side you can put all your pens and pencils. And this is what you'll need. 2 contrasting fabrics. I'm using 100% cotton, a nylon zipper, cam snap, and optional, some interfacing. And this is how we make it. Using the largest piece of fabric that you've cut out, fold it in half, right sides together, take it over to your iron as I've done, and crease. Then open out and take your zip. If you're using directional fabric, this is the top. Place your zip snugly so this edge fits nicely on this crease, and then carefully fold it over. Add some clips. I've added my clips, and next I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine, pop my zipper foot on and carefully sew all the way along. I've sewn all the way down. I'm now going to carefully open it out. Flip it over, line up all the sides and edges and press. I've pressed it, and now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine again, and I'm going to top stitch all along here. I'm going to increase my stitch length to a 4. I've top stitched all the way along to give a nice neat finish. Don't worry at this stage that your zipper looks a bit longer than it should be, because we're going to trim it later. I'm going to put this to one side just for the moment. Next, take the piece of fabric you've cut out for the top of the zipper. Be careful that you don't use the lining for the pocket at this stage, because they're very similar sizes. Double check first. Take your fabric as we did before and fold it right sides together as I am, so pretty side to pretty side. And once again, take it over your iron and press to form a nice sharp crease. Now we're going to join everything together. Place the edge of the zipper on the crease that you've just made. Make sure that this edge and this edge line up, and then carefully fold over like a sandwich and add some clips. I've added all my clips, and I've made sure that my edges all line up and that my zip is snugly right in that crease. An extra security so it doesn't move around, I've added some pins. I'm now going to put my zipper foot on, and as we did before, sew all the way down and stop. I've sewn using my zipper foot all the way down. I've just taken out my clips and pins. The next is pull that over and that one over. Take it over to your iron and press. I've pressed, and next I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine, and as I did on this side, I'm going to top stitch all the way along. I'm going to increase my stitch length to a 4. I've top stitched all the way along, We're now starting to join everything together. Place the lining fabric that you've cut out right sides up so you're looking at the pretty side. Then place the piece of fabric with the zip on that you've just made and place it on top. Ensure that it lines up and then add some clips. I've added my clips. This is just to keep the fabric steady whilst we do the next part. I've measured 8 centimetres from the teeth of the zip and I've drawn a line all the way down. And it's along that line I'm going to sew next. I've sewn all the way down and I've removed my clips and I'm going to put this to one side for the moment. Place your lining fabric for your pocket right sides up so you're looking at the pretty side, and then take the outer of your pocket and place it right sides together. So you're looking at the back of the fabric now. Line it all up and then add some clips. Make sure it's the right hand edge that you're lining up. I've added my clips and now I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Sew all the way down and stop. I've sewn all the way down. I'm now going to open it out and then flip it over so we're looking at the pretty side. Line up all the sides and edges and then press. It is correct that we see some of the lining. I pressed it and now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine and top stitch all the way along between the two fabrics. I call it sewing in the ditch. I've top stitched all the way along and I'm going to put this to one side for the moment. We're now working on the main front. Place your front fabric right sides up so you're looking at the pretty side. If you're using directional fabric, ensure that this is the top of your fabric. Fold in half lengthways and lightly crease. Carefully flip it over and then measure 3 centimetres from this edge along your crease line and put a mark. Push your cam snap in at this mark you've just made. Place the other half of your cam snap and fix into position. We're now working on the tab. Place your tab fabric right sides up so you're looking at the pretty side and then fold in half. Ensure that all your sides line up and then add some clips along here and along here. I've added my clips and now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine, 1/4 inch seam allowance, sew all the way along here and all along this side, leaving this side open. I've sewn all the way down this side and all the way down this side. I'm now going to turn it the right way out. I've turned it the right way out and pushed out both corners and pressed. Fold your tab in half and finger press. Using the crease line you've just formed, measure 2.5 centimetres from the folded edge and make a mark. Insert your cam snap on the mark you've just made. Turn your tab over and place the other part of your cam snap into place and fix. We're now joining everything together. Place your fabric with a zipper on, right sides up. Then get your pocket and place it on the right hand side. Line up all the sides and edges. Then add some clips all the way around the fabric. I've added my clips all the way around, and as you can see I've added two quite close to my zip. This is to steady it while we sew it. I'm going to pull my zip down a little bit. This is quite important. And now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine and use a scant 1/4 inch, tack everything together all the way around. These are just holding stitches and they won't be seen in the final make. Take your time when you're sewing across these teeth. I've tacked quite close to the edge all the way around to hold everything together. I'm now going to open my zipper about halfway. Place your main outer fabric right sides together on top, so the cam snap is at the opposite end to the pocket. Line up all the sides and edges and add some clips. I've added clips, just 3 sides. I haven't added any clips to the side where the pocket is. Fold everything in half and make a crease. Take your tab fabric and fold in half and finger press, then open out. Line up the crease on your tab and the crease on this side of the fabric. Make a mark either side of the tab and either use a pen or, as I've done, pins. This will give us a gap just a bit wider than the tab. I've added a couple more clips. I'm going to move the tab away for the time being, and now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine and use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, starting at one of my pins. Sew all the way down and stop, all the way across and stop. Be a bit bumpy over your zip, all the way up and stop, all the way across, again over your zip and stop, and then back to where your pin mark is. We will not be sewing anywhere between the pins. I've sewn all the way around, remembering to leave a gap for my tab and turning. I've snipped each of the 4 corners, and I've also snipped away the excess zip. And it's through this gap now that I'm going to turn it the right way out. I've turned it the right way out and I've pushed out all the corners, and I've turned in the raw edges of the gap and pressed. We're now going to put the tab into place. Carefully pop your tab in the gap you left, about 3 centimetres in, and ensure that it's the right way up so it will fasten correctly. Before you pin into place, make sure that it's nice and square and in the centre. I've pinned into place, and now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine and I'm going to sew all the way along, closing up the gap I made. And this will fix the tab into position. I've sewn all the way across, attaching the tab. And that's your Happy Days Paige book wallet with built-in pencil case all finished.